ready for the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship 2024 and a race weekend to come in Zolder, Belgium. 14 teams from 6 countries, about 120 Goodyear tires for one weekend, and all trucks racing with 100% sustainable fuel. Fights for points in total and the Chrome class will determine all action of this exciting championship. Are you ready for our live stream starting on Saturday at 10 AM, followed by strong races all weekend long? Become a part of the One Truck family and see you soon. We are back at the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and it's finally time for race number 4 of this weekend. We can't wait. So let's see who's gonna end up on 3rd place, 2nd, and of course 1st place. You can make a bet on paper and then tell us later on Instagram who you were betting for. It's reverse grid, don't forget, but maybe still it's Norbert Kisch gonna be back on 1st place. We will see. I'm really looking forward to see the start of this race. I think Lukas Hahn will be in front, and the others we will see in a second, because I don't know right now. So Chaz, it's time for you, and of course we also have Joachim Eberts for the Germans and Francis Ciprian for the Spanish audience. See you in a sec.
Thank you very much, Lena. Yes, hello everybody. Chaz Draycott here for the 2024, Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We're here for the final race of the weekend here at Zolder. It's been much hotter and much sunnier today than it was during Saturday's racing, but I tell you what, the action has been hot consistently all the way through. And Lena rightly pointed out there that Lukas Hahn is going to be near the front of the grid for this final race of the weekend, but it's going to be John Newell on pole position. It's the top 8 that get reversed for this one, and John, after inheriting 8th position after a penalty for Stefan Faas last time out, will now inherit pole position on top of that as well. It's once again Andre Kursim and Stephanie Halm on the 2nd row of the grid. Antonio Albacete and Sasha Lenz will be on row 3. And then we have Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch on row 4. And this time round, the official truck and the pace truck make their way through from behind the grid instead of reversing up the start-finish straight. And what we're going to do is have a quick look back at some highlights from the earlier race today, which was a lively one, to say the least. Race 3, usually a bit more formal than race 4. But I tell you what, with the sun out, it's certainly made everybody excited. And with the different conditions, different setups on the trucks, we never knew what we were going to be treated to. It was Norbert Kisch once again on pole position, with Sasha Lenz alongside him. Sasha got his nose in front into turn 1, but wasn't able to hold on to the lead, and Norby then started to move away at the front of the field and open up a bit of a gap. Jochen Hahn was chasing down Sasha Lenz for 2nd position and eventually got that as the two of them stayed ahead of Antonio Albacete. But the battles in the Chrome class were the ones to keep an eye on. Mark Taylor staying ahead of the likes of Lukas Hahn and Stefan Faas. Stefan eventually being given a 5-second penalty for gaining an advantage when leaving the circuit. Lukas Hahn would eventually inherit the lead and the win after Mark Taylor got a drive-through penalty on the final lap. There was penalties galore though, as Heinrich Clemens-Hecker came in for a black and orange flag. And also, there was a penalty for Stefan Faas, as mentioned. Lukas Hahn took the win in the Chrome class. Norbert Kisch won the overall race and continues a 100% win record for 2024. Are we going to see the 3rd Grand Slam on the bounce here this weekend in Zolder? We'll have to wait and see to see what the result of race number 4 will be. There is the Iveco S-Way, the official pace truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Wonderful machine powered by Bio LNG. And there are our flag bearers at the front of the grid, doing a wonderful job as ever. The championship so well presented in many ways, and so unique in many ways as well. Truck racing is such a niche, such a fantastic sport that is massively appreciated all over Europe and the world, it must be said. But here at Zolder, they really do love their truck racing, and it's a unique circuit in itself for our calendar. A very narrow track, very tight and twisty, but it's always exciting to go racing here. There's not many places to overtake, so the drivers and teams put a huge amount of effort into making sure that they do so. Some pictures being taken down there with the Iveco S-Way. I believe some of the guys from Goodyear down there having their pictures taken. And a great atmosphere ahead of the final race of the weekend. I know there's some teams that will be really hoping for an easy ride in this last race, some easy points. It's been a tough weekend for a lot of them. We'll have to see who can come out on top and finish off their weekend in style. Heinrich Clemens Hecker, the first one to the grid. They had a black smoke infringement in the earlier race, which was why they got a penalty. They got told to come into the pits to figure out whatever the issue was and then head back out onto the circuit. No black smoke from this thing. The Iveco S-Way Bio LNG. Lovely looking bit of kit, driven by the man in the white overalls on the right of shot there, Frank. And he's down there on the grid enjoying the sunshine. And also enjoying the sunshine, I believe, this weekend is Lena, who's down there on the ground for us.
And it's a very modern world at the European Truck Racing Championship, and there are not only grid girls, there are also grid boys down here, which I really appreciate. And I want to find out if you have to go through a casting or what exactly you have to do to end up standing down here.
You don't have to do really much. We just been chosen.
Oh, but you were applying for it?
We work for a company who does this all the time, so it's a lot of fun.
Okay, but I really like that there are boys as well now. So since when are you doing this?
We've been doing this for a couple of years now, so it's changed. Normally it was always girls, but now it's boys as well.
Okay, so I will ask the girl as well, of course. What's your name, by the way?
Dries.
Dries, hi Dries. And so do you also want to become a race car driver to be closer to the motorsport, or is it nicer to be here standing in the front?
I enjoy more watching it than being in the car. I don't think it's that easy, but I think if you're able to do it, it's really fun.
All right, so good luck over there. You will get some nice suntan, that's a given. And let's see who this is. Hello, what's your name?
Evelyn.
Evelyn. So you're also from the same company than Dries?
Yes.
And do you like standing here?
Yes, it's very nice. And the sun, yeah.
And you get to see some racers?
Yes, we saw some racers.
And you know that we also have a woman in the race, Steffi Halm. Have you met her already?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I just said I like, because before there were only girls, now there are boys and girls. I think it's very equal and it's very fair. Would you like to be a race car driver?
No, I'm not so good with the car.
Okay. But you have a driver's license?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will just take all the names just so you know who we are even talking to over here. What's your name?
Marie.
Marie, and you have a huurbewijs?
Yes.
Rijbewijs?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so she knows how to drive a car. And what's your name?
Vassel.
Varsel. Yeah. And jij, do you want to become a race car driver?
Oh, no. No, I'm not such a good driver, no.
Okay, so they were chosen because they're all very pretty, very beautiful people to be standing in the front waving the flags. And Chaz, pretty, this is my perfect moment to hand back to you.
Thank you very much, Lena. I'll tell you what, I think my job is in jeopardy. Jeopardy. Flipping out. Well, there it definitely is, because I can't speak English anymore. But Dries has got one hell of a voice on him, hasn't he? Flipping heck. I'll have to make sure that he doesn't want to come commentating or anything, because flipping heck, he's better looking and sounds better than me. But still, here is Antonio Albacete. He makes his way to the grid, and he will line up in 5th position for this race alongside Sasha Lenz once again. The two of them always doing battle on circuit. They were close together in that 3rd race of the weekend. And you can see just how bright it is down there on the grid now. The Iveco S-Way glistening away, and the bright white of the trucks glowing in our screens. And glowing down there on the grid is, as ever, Lena van der Maas.
Tony Adden, the man himself, Eden, I'm sorry, and you're the series coordinator, but you also have been in the leadership for this race for quite a long time, and I'm very glad to see all the races, because you always have a smiling face and you really seem to enjoy the fruits of your work from all these years.
Yeah, I've been involved in motor racing a long time, but I seem to keep coming back to truck racing. 35 years, many countries, and yeah. I enjoy truck racing. It gets into the blood.
Yes, it is. And we have a reverse grid over here. So for how long has this one been invented, and what has been the thought behind it?
In the reverse grid, I suppose it comes from the early days when we were trying to do a balance of performance and in some way make it more interesting for the spectators. We tried it, it worked, and both the competitors and the spectators seemed to enjoy the thought. So.
It worked until Norbert Kisch came up, and he kind of seems to do the Grand Slam again this weekend maybe. Do you have a bet? Do you have numbers written down that you're betting on for this race?
Yeah, you haven't seen what's in my pocket yet. We'll slow him down.
All right. So we will see you later on, and then I want to see the numbers that you were betting on. Yeah, we have John Newell, we have a British guy over here. I happened to talk to him. He gets up at 4:30 every morning. He does a lot of sports. He goes to his business at 6:30 and he works till 7:30 by night. And he told me that this is his holiday. He turns off his phone, he comes here and he enjoys racing. So that's really worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have people like him on the grid. Easy to work with, very cooperative. If we've got a problem, we talk about it, we sort it out. And that's one of the things about truck racing. It's an easy format. You don't have to be too severe on the drivers. We have a working relationship, and that's it.
Lovely. It's a one truck family indeed. And Chas, you're my most favorite mate as well. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Lena. I absolutely love Tony Eden. He's a fantastic star. I'm not sure I want to know what's in his pocket, though. But still, he's a real star to have on the grid. And it's great to have him as part of the team. His experience that he brings to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is just mega. And honestly, his input is always hugely appreciated. He's got a great sense of humour as well. Very British, dry humour from Tony Eden. There is the fifth wheel on the back of Lucas Hahn's truck, the bright green fifth wheel that we have that simplifies and exemplifies, I should say, the 100% renewable HVO diesel that these trucks run on. They all have the same green fifth wheel with the lovely little Total Energies branding on it. The little shark fin. There is Steffi Halm starting this race on the outside of row 2. It's always good to see Steffi. She's always in a very positive mood ahead of the race. As we wait now for the procession of the first couple of laps to get underway. We will be cutting away in just a moment, though, to welcome our international TV audience from around the world. It's that moment of the broadcast that you all love, where Chas goes quiet for a little bit. Imagine that. Oh, it would be absolutely wonderful, wouldn't it? Well, I'm going to go quiet now, though, everybody, I should say. And we'll welcome our international TV audience. And me and Lena will see you in a sec.
Big hello to all the fans all over the world of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We are still here in Zolder, Belgium, and it's time for race number 4 of this weekend, reverse grid, of course, starting out with Lucas Hahn and John Newell in top, followed by Mr. André Kursim and Steffi Halm. And all the fans out there, you know what's going on between those two, so this is going to be a strong fight, I'm pretty sure, but also here in the front line. And of course we have our commentators in the stream and on the television screens for you as well. We have Fonsi Cebrian for the Spanish audience, Joachim Eberts for the Germans, and our lovely Chas Draycott for the English audience. See you in a sec.
Thank you, Lena. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final race of the weekend here in the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship from Zolder in Belgium. It's one of the finest circuits that we head to in Europe, this place. It's a real treat. My name is Chas Draycott, and I'm delighted to be back once again for 2024, commentating on this excellent championship. The man that you see there stood with the flag in front of the truck just a moment ago, his name's Dries, and my job is at threat with Dries around because he's better looking than me, and he's got an incredible voice on him, I have to say. There is Luke Garrett making his way to the grid in the number 42 machine. Luke's had a bit of a tough start to the season, to say the least, with reliability this season, similar to that truck there. I cannot remember remember the name of the driver that drives that truck in the Dutch Truck Racing Championship. However, that thing is a scary-looking machine. Really is. It's horrendous. It's brilliant, but it's horrendous. Unlike Zolder. Zolder is not horrendous, and Zolder is fantastic. This is the racing circuit that we're at for this weekend. Many chicanes, many hairpins, big braking zones, and a really tough first sector as well that really shreds those front tyres. The Goodyears being put through their paces of durability on a race weekend like this, especially when the air temperature is 24 degrees like it is today. It's much warmer than it was yesterday, and there's barely any cloud cover at all. There's a few scattered clouds about, but the trucks and the circuit bathed in sunshine for today. It's been a beautiful bit of scenery, and as you can see, I mean, look at all of the greenery around us. It's excellent, really excellent. John Newell then starts on pole position for this final race of the weekend. He has got Lucas Hahn alongside him. Lucas started on pole position for race 2 yesterday and nearly took an overall victory. Andre Kurzim will start in 3rd place with Steffi Halm alongside him again. Would it be any other way? Antonio Albacetti and Sasha Lenz are on the 3rd row, with Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch, race 1 winner, in 8th place. Now, Norbert hoping to do another Grand Slam here. Can he do 3 in a row? That would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? Next up is Stefan Faas and Mark Taylor on the 5th row of the grid. Then we have Luke Garrett and Heinrich Klamens-Hecker together on row 6, and then Louis Riquenco on his own on the 13th position on the grid, because Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, unfortunately, having an engine failure during qualifying has caused significant damage to the inside of the engine, so he's had to go home early, and they'll get it fixed for the Nürburgring. We're going to go back down onto the grid, though, and speak to the pole sitter for this one, John Newell.
John's time it is, and we are here at pole position, and we just had a quick chat, and I don't know, are you afraid of anyone around you right now?
No, not at all. It should be good fun. I just got to keep them behind me, that's all, which will be a task in itself.
You're a very strong sports person. People can see once you're out of the truck. What does it mean to you to be here in the championship?
Oh, it's great to be in the championship. I really enjoy it. It's a good family atmosphere. Me little lad's watching at home, so this one's for him.
And how do you feel about Zolder itself? I know everyone has like a favorite racetrack, but how do you feel about this one?
It's a good racetrack, but it's very, very hard on the brakes, so it's difficult to keep them cool, and it's very technical.
Yes, very true. We will see the smoke later on from the water. How big is the water tank to cool down the brakes? Do you know, or shall I ask your mechanic?
We have 200 litres of water.
That's a lot for like 8 laps in total. Okay, let's see how the story goes with you later on. I just made a bet with him if he will manage to hold Norbert Kisch behind him. He's laughing, so we just let this sit in the air as is, and I wish you good luck for the starting of this race. So see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Always great to hear from John Newell. Never mixes his words, does John? Always says it exactly how it is. There is Lucas and his lovely partner, ready to start from the front row of the grid in this final race of the weekend, trying to keep cool where they can. I mean, we've had race weekends before where inside the cab of these trucks it can be nearly 60 degrees Celsius. It's remarkably hot in there, but then again, you're literally surrounded by a metal box that's just windows as well. It's pretty incredible how hot it can be inside these machines and at the racetracks themselves. There is Rolf Werner stood at the front of the grid, keeping an eye on things and making sure everything runs to plan. And now everybody will make their way off the grid. Dries will go and sign his contract with Viga to be the commentator for next year. Thank you once again to our flag bearers and all the amazing personnel we have in the championship that make it so well presented and make everything run so cleanly on time. And I've been told by my director, his words, so you can judge this. We're going back to speak to Lena, who's with someone special.
Feliz cumpleaños! I don't know how to sing it in Spanish. Can you do it for me, please?
What?
How do you sing happy birthday
Feliz
to you?
cumpleaños.
How do you sing it in Spanish?
Cumpleaños feliz, cumpleaños feliz. Te deseamos todos cumpleaños feliz.
Happy birthday! It's your 60th birthday and you're in the race mode, so that's very lovely.
Bueno, 60 años, muy feliz, muy contento, muy bien de salud, gracias a Dios. Y bueno, a disfrutar del mundo del camión, que es lo que me gusta.
Yes. So he is thanking the gods that he is happy, that he is healthy, that he's still in the race world. And I think that's all you can have when you have done this for such a long time. So have a very lovely leftover race for today. And I see you in so many more for this season. But I think it's nice to celebrate your birthday like this. Did you give him a birthday cake? No. Manja. Cake? Yes? No? You have to buy him a cake later on.
Principal for Luis.
Luis, no birthday cake because then bad driving, right? We are slim fast at European Truck Racing Championship. I'm sorry.
I don't really know what to say. Happy 21st birthday to Louis Requenco, who starts this race from 13th on the grid. He's going to be hoping for a bit of a late birthday present here. There's a big handshake for Mark Taylor, who starts this one from just a bit further up the order in 10th spot. And now the grid will be cleared of everybody, including team members. And then we will get the final race of the weekend underway. We hope you're excited for this one, everybody, because the second and fourth races of the weekend with the reverse grid element are always so exciting. There's a lot to look at here, and there's quite a bit riding on this one because Norbert Kiss, with his dominance of the 2024 championship so far, could be about to do something beyond legendary and take the third Grand Slam on the bounce, which would be ridiculous, but at the same time, it seems doable for Norby, so we'll have to wait and see. Here's the Ford F-Max, the official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. International Truck of the Year back in 2019 was the F-Max, and it continues to be a wonderful sight around the circuits of Europe. It comes with us all over, and the delightful May Fisher drives this machine around on its inspection lap to make sure there's no spillages, no gravel, no debris, nothing that would stop the race from going ahead as planned. And we thank May for her time and effort and her brilliant driving, to be fair. She certainly puts the truck through its paces. It's a rapid bit of kit as well for its size, is the Ford F-Max. And May sounding the horn as well on her way out of the hairpin, which is great to see. She's another one of these great people that just embodies the fantastic fun element of this championship and the one truck family mantra. She's an absolute star, a great addition to the team. She comes into the pit lane now in one of two F-Maxes that we have here. We've got the orange and black one that you see right now, and there's also a blue and white example in the paddock as well. I mean, look at the change of direction. Brilliant bit of kit. So, drivers are told to start their engines. I mean, my revs are already rising anyway. I'm really excited for this. I love the final race of the weekend. Not that I ever want it to finish, but the last race of the weekend, it's almost a bit of a, what they say, a last day of school vibe. So it's a case of everybody knows that they can take time away from the circuit, voice breaks and the like. They can take time away from the circuit between race meetings to fix anything that gets caused by this race. Obviously, they're not out there to smack each other out of the way. But contact happens in truck racing. It's a natural thing. They are 5-ton racing machines, and there's a lot of them on circuit, and a very narrow, confined circuit as well. And in just a moment's time, the Iveco S-Way at the front of the field will hop off the line with Frank the Tank behind the wheel. And there you go. You can see the heat haze as well, rising still from the circuit. Very hot afternoon here at Zolder. And it is John Newell and Lucas Hahn that will lead us away. We have 3 Ivecos inside the top 4 positions here. And there is the Bio-LNG equivalent, the road-going Iveco S-Way. Reduces up to 95% of the emissions with no noticeable difference in power or torque. And it's a wonderful machine inside as well. The interior is delightful, I have to tell you. The whole field follows them round. It's not quite as comfortable in the interior of the race trucks, I can tell you that for free. It's not quite the same leather vibe with beautiful white and blue stitching everywhere like it is in the Iveco, with loads of lovely carpet trim and aircon, I can imagine. The race trucks are a bit of a different kettle of fish to sit inside. That's for free. You can see the massive wind turbine in the background casts an interesting shadow on those trees. Always catches me out. John Newell and Lucas Hahn line up on the front row then. Let's get to the racing, shall we? Those two make up a very strong front row from the Chrome class. Andre Kurzim and Steffi Halm once again side by side. They're on the second row of the grid, this time in their 2 Ivecos. Next up is Antonio Albacete on the inside line with Sasha Lenz alongside him. Sasha looking to continue a stronger day than he had yesterday. Saturday was really not his day at all. Jochen Hahn in 7th position lines up alongside Norbert Kiss. Imagine having 11 championship titles on one row of the grid. Amazing. Stefan Faas will start 9th on the grid. I fell out of my chair then thinking I was going to get hit by an Iveco. Then Mark Taylor will start in 10th position. He'll be a bit gutted after earlier and fired up to get more points. Luke Garrett will start in 11th place. He's got Heinrich Clemens Hecker joining him on the 6th row of the grid. And then Louis Requenco will start in 13th place. And there will unfortunately be an empty space where Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's MAN would be had it had a fully functioning engine. We look forward to seeing Jose Eduardo and his team back with us, though, at the Nürburgring. It's only 3 weeks until the ADAC International Truck Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. That's going to be one hell of a weekend, that is, I can tell you. It always is a massive amount of fun. The biggest event of our year. You can see in the top right of your screen there. We even have a lovely graphic available for it as well. I love the clean branding behind it all as well. It's everything about that weekend appeals to me. Thank you to Patrick Starr as well, apparently, I'm told, our graphics man, for that. Patrick Starr, I believe, a nickname. Unless his surname is actually Starr and it's not a SpongeBob reference, but I'll have to wait and see whether the director's just trying to wind me up on that one. But I think he knows that if you tell a commentator to say something live on air, he's probably going to say it. There's limitations, of course, but still, we're going to enjoy ourselves here in this final race of the weekend, I can tell you that, for free. John Newell starting on the inside line with Steffi Halm just behind them in one of the Ivecos. She's got Lucas Hahn to look at from this front row of the grid. Andre Kurzim on the inside line there as well. And we wait to see what this final one has in store. This is going to be round number 12 of the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. The lights on the gantry will go red, and any moment now they will hop off the line and away they go. And Andre Kurzim instantly wanted to go for that middle line and he's actually got the better of John Newell. John did not get away in strong fashion there. It looked like Louis Requenco might have had an issue further down the order. And look at that, to the inside line goes Andre Kurzim. There's already a mudguard missing on Lucas Hahn's truck. There's a check up in the middle. Steffi Halm goes slow on the exit of turn 1. Sasha Lenz has to try and find a way back onto the circuit. There was a big check up in there. Someone's mudguard has gone underneath the front of another truck and gone flying up in the air all of a sudden. There's bodywork aplenty, but it looked like, is it Lucas Hahn still holding on to the race lead? I think it is. There's a truck off in the background. That's Mark Taylor. It's Lucas Hahn, Andre Kurzim, Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacete, John Newell, Steffi Halm, and then Norbert Kish trying to all stay out of trouble. But John initially got a poor getaway. Andre Kurzim went to the middle of the circuit. Lucas then went to the left to try and cover off the inside line, and Andre was already there. There's a bit of contact there. Norbert Kish looking down the inside of Steffi Halm, and in turn looking down the inside of John Newell. Steffi hops over the curb, has Sasha Lenz for company just behind. Louis Requenco, by the look of it, has continued on and is with the field. But it is Ivecos 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. Lucas Hahn, Andre Kurzim, Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacete, John Newell in the Chrome class, and then Norbert Kish, Steffi Halm, Sasha Lenz, Stefan Faas, Heinrich Clemens Hecker, Louis Requenco, Luke Garrett, and then Mark Taylor. The whole field that started the race still running. Careful of those penalty markers, Mark. I was looking down the inside of Andre Kurzim. Straight away goes Jochen Hahn. Big send into the hairpin for him. Andre turns in. The two of them get very close to contact. I think there might have been a bit of a rub. Norbert Kish down the inside of John Newell as well. He takes 5th position in this opening lap. But it's Lucas Hahn in the Chrome class, leading outright as well. Don't forget we have the overall and Chrome championships to think about as Steffi Halm tries it down the inside of John Newell into the chicane. Big send from Steffi. Maybe a little bit of a rub down the inside there into the left-hander. And after the first lap, it's Lucas Hahn, Jochen Hahn, Andre Kurzim, Antonio Albacete, Norbert Kish. Then the battles remain behind. Sasha Lenz now getting in front of Steffi Halm. Stefan Faas is in there too. And this is Albacete on the back of Kurzim. Two drivers that we've seen battle only a couple of times before, actually. We've not really seen them head-to-head that often. It's one of the only duos on the circuit we don't really see that close together that often. Steffi Halm trying it around the outside of Sasha Lenz now, trying to hold on to that position as Mark Taylor overtakes Luke Garrett a little bit further down. The two of them have raced together a lot in the British Championship before, so they have experience racing one another. Louis Requenco decided to try and find some birthday cake out in the gravel there by the look of it. As there's more side-by-side action in the background, I think there was a bit of contact there between Steffi Halm and potentially, was that Stefan Faas involved as Antonio Albacete throws it up the inside of Andre Kurzim. Definitely contact there. John Newell side-by-side with, I believe, his teammate Sasha Lenz. They hopefully don't lean on each other too much. They are teammates at Team Lowen Power. And Sasha makes it through. And now it's the Hans at the front of the field. Lucas leading Jochen, Andre Kurzim, Antonio Albacete, then Norbert Kish, and then this lot. Sasha Lenz down the inside of his teammate John Newell. John's going to have to skip over the chicane. He might have to give that one back and be careful not to gain too much of an advantage, but at the same time, if he would have still tried to make it to the apex, he would have probably had more contact to think about. And there's the move for the lead. Jochen Hahn down the inside of Lucas. Jochen knows that even though it is his son in front of him, he cannot sit and wait. There is the moment between Sasha and John. I don't actually think there was contact there, but John just had to cut over the chicane to avoid any further issues. I was going to say, even though Jochen knows it's his son directly in front of him, he can't wait around for him to just hold on to the position. He needs to get in front because he knows that Norby is on his way. The inevitable Norbert Kish has now moved ahead, actually, of Antonio Albacete into the chicane that time round. He now moves up into 4th place. There's Sasha Lenz, still side-by-side with his teammate John Newell. The two of them fighting away. John in the Chrome class, thinking about those overall championship points. I was going to mention this in the earlier race, that it's intriguing to see that based on the overall championship finishing positions, John Newell is actually 1 point ahead of Mark Taylor. Actually, sorry, 5 points ahead of Mark Taylor. But then in the Chrome class, Mark is actually in front of John by only 4 points coming into this race. As still, he fights with Sasha Lenz. Sasha's going to be playing the teammate card here, thinking, come on, mate, give me a bit. And he's still having a bit of a Paris-Dakar moment, is Sasha Lenz. He's trying out the off-roading capabilities of these new Goodyear tyres for this season. Side-by-side with Steffi Halm into the Kleiner chicane. Stefan Faas wants a bit of that as well. He goes down the inside in the Scania. They lean on each other through there. Are they making it through? Yeah, they both made it through fine, but Stefan Faas had to back out of that one. He's got Heinrich Clemens-Hecker, then Louis Requenco behind. Mark Taylor hoping to recover earlier positions. And now Lucas Hahn is becoming a bit of a cork in the bottle here for the likes of Andre Kurzim and Norbert Kish. Penalty marker warnings for trucks 18 and 81. That's John Newell and Mark Taylor. And apparently Andre Kurzim's start is under investigation. It did look like he was out of position because he'd moved over to the right before the race got underway. You have to remain sort of in the tram lines of the truck in front as, whoa, Stefan Faas very sideways into the hairpin there. Locks up the rear axle and then the truck almost goes completely around. He manages to save it. John is going to be really hoping that Sasha's not angry at him for trying to hold on to this position, but you can't blame him. Apparently the 18 and the 11 are both under investigation for start positions. That is John Newell, the pole sitter, and Andre Kurzim, the two drivers that started from the front of the left-hand column, so to speak. This is Norbert Kish trying to get one of his oh-so-beautiful cutbacks on Andre Kurzim, going one way, then the other, trying to set it up, almost like a karting manoeuvre from one corner to the next. Stefan Faas has been warned for hitting penalty markers. Jochen Hahn, well, he's hoping to clear off at the moment. He's got fellow Iveco drivers almost blocking the way. We're on lap 4 out of 12 here, and Jochen could become the first driver that isn't Norbert Kish to win a race this season. Can anybody stop Norby doing triple Grand Slams? I mean, with a move like that, probably not. As, oh, dearie me, contact wheel to sort of wheel arch contact there. Not quite fitting as it's 3 wide. Antonio Albacete goes in the middle of the 3 of them. Whoa, goodness me. Antonio saw a gap and went for it. The gap very quickly closed. Andre Kurzim is elbowed out wide. And Antonio says, no more Mr. Nice Guy, have a bit of that. As, oh, more contact between Kurzim and Norbert Kish in there. That won't go down well at all. It seemed like Norby had it done down the inside. Andre tried to just slot in behind him, look, and there, just that touch. The wheel against the bodywork. And then Antonio thought, all right then, have a bit of that. Andre wanted to try and close the gap and squeezed all the way over to the left-hand side, thinking that there was only one truck there. And more drama there. Sasha Lenz locking up on the brakes. Oh, John Newell has to go wide at the hairpin. What was it Chaz said at the start, everybody? Last day of school? Mayhem. Look at that. Antonio around the outside of Norby. Has to somehow give space to the inside. Runs a little bit wide. Andre gets it stopped. And then as they get to the apex, Norby turns in. Andre just understeers that little bit. Makes a bit more contact. And that incident is under investigation. Or at least the one that led up to that anyway. As the rejoin from Andre Kurzim was less than favourable. But wow. That was 2 teammates as well. Rivation T-Sport teammates for this season. Now, did I see that the right rear on Norby's MAN was going down? Was that a puncture potentially on that right rear? Sasha Lenz has got past John Newell now. John's having a fight with Steffi round turn 2. Lucas Hahn holding on to second position outright and the lead in the Chrome class. John Newell will want to stay ahead of Steffi Halm because she is the only truck between him and Heinrich Clemens Hecker, who is next up in the Chrome class. Through the chicane once again they go. Norbert Kish all over the back of Antonio Albacete. And a quick reminder that while the opening few laps contact-wise may not have been the cleanest, it is all technically clean because it's on 100% renewable HVO diesel. Thank you very much once again, Patrick. A good reminder there from Patrick, the graphics guy at Vega, doing a great job. We always try and find as many funny segues as we can with them, but there's only a certain amount of ways we can do it. We are going to continue trying to improve them. We've built a great rapport over it over the last season or so. So at the moment, the top 3 are Jochen Hahn, Lucas Hahn and Antonio Albacete. Antonio trying to hold on in front of his teammate Norbert Kish, championship leader. Antonio's been around the block though. 3-time European truck racing champion is Antonio, with a remarkable career behind him. He's multiple Spanish Formula Renault champion, Spanish touring car champion. He's done 26 years in truck racing. And in the 90s, he was a factory driver for 3 different manufacturers in Spanish touring cars, was Antonio. But even that, by the look of it, is not enough to hold back Norbert Kish, who has a bit of a bounce over the curb this way and that way. The two of them have a bit of a what's called a hip and shoulder, side by side, in towards turn 2. Norby tries now to get a cutback. He runs wide and gets a late apex to then shoot out of the corner down the inside for the next part of the circuit. We'll see whether he's got that move done in just a moment. And yes, is the answer. Through he goes. Up into 3rd position outright now, into a podium spot. And apparently the number 11 machine, as you'll see in just a second, which is Andre Kurzim, has been given a drive-through penalty for causing a collision with Norbert Kish. That was what led to all of the argy-bargy down there at the first chicane. There's one for the bingo card. Over the crest they go. You can see the bodywork as well on the left-hand side of Andre Kurzim's machine really flapping around. And there you go. Pushing another truck, it's been determined as. He just tried to slot in as Norby went to go past him, but just didn't quite judge it right. As John Newell throws it into the chicane, locks up, somehow still makes the corner. Brilliant stuff. And Steffi Halm now trying to come through, knocking on the door. But John is saying, nah, no thank you. I want to hold on to this position. Now he knows that overall championship points are on offer for said position as well. This is lap 6 out of 12 here at Zolder, in round number 12 of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Steffi Halm giving us a little bit of a drifting demonstration there. It was almost like she pulled the handbrake into the corner as the rear axle locked up. Stefan Fast, by the way, has dropped down to the back of the field in 13th position and has lost a bunch of places. Not quite sure what has caused that, but he's had some sort of drama somewhere. Now, Lucas Hahn having to defend hard from Norbert Kish. The two of them had some great run-ins during the virtual European Truck Racing Championship over winter, which we all raced on the simulators. And it looks like they're ready to reignite that battle on the circuit once again. There is John Newell and Steffi Halm still together on the circuit for 7th and 8th places. I'm wondering if Norby was able to get a cutback and overtake Lucas. No, nothing this time round, and Antonio is now the one that's actually taken advantage of it. Albacete goes through. He goes back in front of Norbert Kish. It's not often we see anybody overtake Norby. Wow. I'm not sure whether that came as a result of contact or anything, or any sort of move that he tried on Lucas. But, oh, bit of bodywork went flying off to the right-hand side of shot there. There is Norby pushing on. 4th position now, behind Albacete. Andre Kurzim has been issued the drive-through, but hasn't come back into the pits yet as Antonio tries to get past Lucas Hahn. Well, welcome back to the championship, Lucas. It looks like he's found that mudguard and he's just decided to take it home with him. It's sort of wedged inside the bodywork. It's come off and then sort of flapped over the top of the rear end and is now stuck there. There's Andre Kurzim and Sasha Lenz. Sasha may know that Andre will have to come in for a drive-through at some point. Is Norbert Kish going to look down the inside of Antonio? He has a sort of half look. Antonio knows what he's doing here. Is, oh, dearie me, that is down the bottom of the hill, and that, if anything, if they cannot get going again, is going to be a red flag. That is John Newell and Steffi Halm, both wedged. It looks like the bumper bar on the back of John's truck is stuck in the front of Steffi's machine, and the bodywork was damaged there. Oh, piece of bodywork just goes flying off Andre Kurzim's machine as well. I'd imagine, based on where those trucks were placed, that that would be a pretty instant red flag if they cannot get moving under their own power, because that's right on the outside of the circuit through quite a high-speed area. There's yellow flags out there at the moment. It's not really an overtaking opportunity down there, so it's rare that you'll see trucks go side by side through it. I know we've literally just seen that in this race. There's Andre Kurzim coming down the pit lane. He's coming for his drive-through penalty, which he received earlier on for contact. But John Newell and Steffi Halm were very dangerously placed on the outside there. I'm hoping that they get moving again. Kurzim heads back out onto the circuit. There was a marshal there sort of waving his arms in the air as if to say, what are you doing? Not sure if because of the circumstances out there on the circuit, whether he wasn't allowed out of the pits or something, not quite sure. Still, Lucas Hahn defending from Antonio Albacete. And then Norbert Kish. Sasha Lenz not too far off the back of these guys either, and they are just covering that with yellow flags at the moment. That does surprise me, I must admit. But I suppose it's into a braking zone. It's not really an overtaking opportunity into the chicane. John Newell storming out of the truck. You could see him walking behind the marshal's post there. Body language said that he wasn't very happy, understandably so as well. Starting from pole position, a big opportunity to score points here. Jochen Hahn is gone up the road, 8 seconds clear. Doing a great job here on lap 8 out of 12. Lucas Hahn defending from Antonio, defending from Norby. Watching the mirrors as well as Sasha Lenz tries to catch up with these guys. I mean, hats off to the officials at the same time. If you know they felt that they can cover that with yellows and they still race safely until the end. Those trucks clearly can't be moved, but it's not really somewhere that you'd expect anybody to go off or have a moment as, whoa, Norbert Kish straight over the gravel. Bouncing and bounding his way across the final corner. Not sure if there was contact leading into that with Antonio Albacete, but the two of them clearly having a battle there, and it's not gone the way they would have wanted. Norby now throws it up the inside into turn 1. Instant retaliation. Says have a bit of that. As, oh, dearie me, a bit of gravel kicked up there by Antonio. Don't think Norby too happy with that one. He's a good advocate for driving standards. He always makes sure that his moves and his sort of battles back through the order in these second races is very clean. So it's understandable if he gets frustrated if he's not given the same treatment. I think there was a bit of bodywork from the left-hand side of Antonio Albacete's truck that's gone missing as well. There's another bit of bodywork on the right. Someone's going to have a field day if they want to collect truck parts after this one. But instantly Norbert Kish tries to move on Lucas Hahn. Lucas holds second place for now. Look at Sasha Lenz just behind these guys. Now they can't overtake down here regardless how good a run you get over the crest of this hill. You are not going to be able to overtake. Yellow flags cover the area. They will slow down slightly at that part of the track. And then into the Villeneuve chicane. Taking it nice and easy. It's nice and neutralised down there. Be interesting to see if we can find out what happened between John and Steffi. Looked like Louis Requenco was in there as well, actually. I think he was off the road at the same time. Oh, goodness me, yeah, look at the windscreen on Louis Requenco's truck. Wow, I'm not sure if he got caught up in it afterwards, if there was a secondary hit, because I don't remember him being that close to Steffi and John on the circuit. But it's promoted a few drivers. Stefan Fast back up into 8th place. Taylor 7th. Hecker's actually up in 6th place outright as well. Luke Garrett inside the top 10 as well. And Andre Kurzim, even with his drive-through penalty, has moved up into a point-scoring position in the overall championship standings. There goes Jochen Hahn across the line. He's now completed 9 laps of this race, moves on to lap 10 out of 12. Just this one and 2 more to go. As Norbert Kish tries still to get past Lucas Hahn. I think he does. Does he have a right rear puncture? You'll have to forgive me. I get given the production feed in a slightly lower resolution for bandwidth purposes, if that makes sense to you anyway. And I couldn't quite tell if it was completely down on the exit of that corner or whether it was just a little bit compressed just because of how the corner was. But Norbert Kish still racing as if he's at full pelt anyway. A lot of these trucks, they will operate with 5 tyres. They can lose a tyre, have a puncture, and still run at about 90% of their usual pace. And Norby did take quite the whack in the right rear earlier on. So I'm just wondering if that tyre has received any damage at all. It seems to be compressing a lot and wobbling around. So, yeah, I'm apologising because I can't quite see it as clearly as you might be able to. But the battle continues. Obviously, no overtaking manoeuvres down here. They can look down the inside and try and play the mind games as much as they want, but they have to wait until they're out of this sector before they can go green flag racing again. Sasha Lenz really catching up with these guys as well. He could potentially unsettle Albacete here and get a move done on him for 4th position. The battle continues though, and Norby is throwing everything at Lucas Hahn here to try and get the move done. Jochen now 8.4 seconds up the road. Norby looking down the inside into the final chicane. Nothing this time. He's great on the brakes, is Norby, so he just needs to try and find an opportunity that isn't that second chicane to outbrake Lucas. 10 laps completed. On to lap 11 for Jochen Hahn, 6-time champion of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And it seems like Norby isn't going to do a trio of Grand Slams. You could argue it wasn't all down to his own circumstances, but the fact that he's already done 2 back-to-back so far this season just shows you the level of dominance. This is the look earlier on, so you can see, look, the tyre bounces around quite a lot there as it gets hit by Andre Kurzim. That was the reason he got the drive-through penalty, and then there's even more contact to that same right rear with Antonio Albacete getting involved. Very lively moment indeed. But there is Jochen Hahn. He's going to be enjoying being out in front and leading this race here at Zolder. I'm pretty sure it's one of his favourite circuits on the calendar as well. There's a lot of drivers that really like this place. That man there doesn't. Sasha Lenz told us yesterday in different words that it wasn't his favourite circuit on the calendar. As you can see, actually, the reason that John's truck won't get moving, it's absolutely buried in the grass. That front wheel really dug in. I'm not sure where the second hit came, whether there's more damage on the left-hand side of the trucks or something that we can't see. But they've taken a big whack somewhere. Louis Requenco's truck has had some piece of something, whether it be a truck or just a piece of it, hit that windscreen and really smash the middle of it, which is a huge shame to see. Happy birthday, Louis. Kurzim has managed to get ahead of Luke Garrett, who has come into the pits, I think. No, it doesn't look like it. He just lost a lot of time in the middle sector last time round, did Luke Garrett. So with just one more lap to go for Jochen Hahn, he leads the race, powered by the same 100% renewable HVO diesel that all the drivers use. And there is Jochen in the Iveco right now. Truck number 2. He wears that number 2 as he finished second in the championship last year. And we're on to the final lap of the weekend here in an always exciting Zolder. This is the Belgian Truck Prix, so to speak. And yeah, you can definitely tell now that that right rear on Norbert Kisch's MAN has gone down. I think it's been more of a slow puncture over the course of the race. It didn't really get torn and burst straight away. But he's still putting up a hell of a defence against the likes of Antonio Albacete and Sasha Lenz, 2 of his main competitors in the championship, the guys that are always right there with him. There is Jochen Hahn still holding that 8-second lead over Lucas. Now, we said earlier that it hadn't been done before that two family members are on the same podium at the same time in yesterday's second race, where Jochen finished in second place and Lucas finished in third. But I don't think we've ever had a father-son 1-2 finish, which will be a very emotional moment, I think, for both of them. When Lucas got his first win, I mean, I was crying when Lucas got his first win, and Jochen was absolutely besotted by the result. Bless him, he was so proud. It was a lovely moment. The usually inflappable Jochen Hahn broke down in tears of joy for his son. And it's going to be great to see Jochen back on the top step. It's been quite a while, but Jochen, always the character, will be happy. Norby won't be too upset not to have won this one and done another Grand Slam, because there's not as many points given out for the second race of the day. But Jochen makes it round into the final corner now, and here at Zolder, I'm sure he will be over the moon to hear me say that Jochen Hahn wins round 12 of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And it's going to be a 1-2, father and son. Lucas Hahn in second place. What a great feel-good result that is. Norbert Kish completes the podium. Antonio Albacete finishes in fourth place, with Sascha Lenz in fifth position. And then next up, Heinrich Clemens Hecker in sixth place outright. 5 overall championship points for him. Mark Taylor finishes in seventh. He gets 4 points. Stefan Faas recovers and gets 3 for his championship charge. And let's not forget as well, Lucas Hahn wins in the Chrome class, with Clemens Hecker and Mark Taylor completing the podium there. Luke Garrett will complete the field. And look at that, father and son drifting even now around turns 2 and 3. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome scenes. Look at that. 1,200 horsepower, nearly 6,000 Newton meters of torque from these Ivecos. Great moment. Really, really great moment. Really feel good stuff, that is. Wow. Give me a minute. Jochen and Lucas, father and son, first and second here at Zolder. And Jochen, I'm sure, will, yep, light up the rears. And there is the confirmation, no further action regarding the start of the race. But there's going to be huge smiles in the Hahn Racing Team camp tonight. And a few beers, I'm sure. Andre Kurzim gets 2 points, just for the record. Andre Kurzim completes the ninth place and gets 2 championship points. 10th position went to Luke Garrett, I believe. Although it doesn't show that he's come through and crossed the line that time round. I'll keep my eye out for that, and we'll confirm it. There is your Chrome podium on the left-hand side. Lucas Hahn, Clemens Hecker and Mark Taylor, all of which had quite a tough time in that race as well. So they've all done very well to hold on and score big points. Lucas Hahn will also take the Young Drivers Trophy away from today as well. And the cavalry is called to go and recover whatever the heck happened down there at the long left-hander towards the chicane. Clemens Hecker will be pleased with today compared to yesterday. He got 15 points compared to the 6 that he scored yesterday in the Chrome class. Mark Taylor gets another podium as well. That'll be his 5th of the season. And there is your result. Jochen Hahn takes the win, the first driver that isn't Norbert Kish to take a victory so far this season. He wins ahead of his son, Lucas Hahn, with Norbert Kish still on the podium. So he's had a podium in every round so far this season. Antonio Albacete finishes in 4th place, with Sascha Lenz in 5th. Heinrich Clemens Hecker, a great 6th place ahead of Mark Taylor, with Stefan Faas in 8th, Andre Kurzim 9th, and Luke Garrett is classified with a championship point for 10th. And then the drivers that didn't finish were the likes of John Newell, Steffi Halm. We also didn't have Louis Requenco in there either. And there is the Chrome result when it's separated. Lucas Hahn wins that class from Heinrich Clemens Hecker and Mark Taylor, with Stefan Faas and Luke Garrett completing the 5 drivers that finished in that order. Well, busy stuff there. And here is the reception from Jochen and Lucas Hahn. They will line up side by side with each other as they win their respective classes. And this will be another lovely moment, I'm sure. Another family-orientated moment for Jochen and Lucas. We've seen a few of them before. And I know that the team will be absolutely overjoyed with that. Interesting for Stefan Faas as well. Didn't really close in much on Jose Eduardo Rodriguez with that championship charge of points. Four podiums in one weekend for Jochen Hahn as well. A great weekend for him. And a big, big hug. Many career victories for Jochen Hahn, and he adds to the ever-growing tally. And he goes, you can see the smile on his face, he tries to find Lucas. A 1-2 for father and son. What a moment. Davide Califano from Goodyear there. I'm not sure if you caught that, saying, now we want to see you cry. Bless him. And a great moment for their social media as well. They've got a great media team, Team Hahn Racing. Diana is crying as well, I'm pretty sure there. There is Lucas's partner. What a great feel-good atmosphere. Some of the guys from Don't Touch Racing as well there to congratulate them. They've got a great rapport with that team. What an awesome moment. And this is part of the one truck family mantra that we all love, you know. There's such a real positive message with truck racing. It's our own wonderful little corner of motorsport, and everybody enjoys it to the fullest, but we enjoy it together, more importantly. Even some of the guys from T-Sport Bernau as well. Casino down there to congratulate Lucas and Team Schwab Truck. This is what I mean. Look at it. All the teams know that that's a popular result, regardless of where you look at it from. I wish I could translate that for you, everybody, but I really can't. Now they've got to head over to the podium. It's not a long walk to the podium here at Zolder either. Some of the guys even from Clemens Hecker's team in there as well. This is what I mean. Welcome to the One Truck family, everybody. We're going to quickly go to Lena. Lena's going to show us something.
Look at Norbert Kisch's rear. This is the rear, what the rear tire looks like. So he barely had any air. I mean, this one was done for sure, for good, and I think the other one also, which explains a lot of not overtaking anymore. But congratulations to Jochen Hahn and Lucas Hahn, and let's see if I can catch them for a quick word with them. Jochen Hahn, where's your son? There he is. Congratulations. Congratulations to the two of you. Well done, well done. I saw so many tears in your team's eyes. Well done. I was jumping in front of the television screen. It was like, come on, Lucas. Such a strong race. So well done. Really cool.
No, we are really happy. You know, it's the last race of the weekend, and yeah, it's my first win in the season, and I'm very proud together to do it with Lucas.
Did you see him in your rear? Like, did you know what was going on there?
You know, I'm on the phone with Diana every time. I know everything what happens behind me, and I'm very proud he held him, you know.
Yes, you did, you did. And this has been your only race in this year, so you're not going with the truck all the time, which makes it even stronger, I feel.
Yeah, it was first race weekend in the season, and yeah, we are very happy, as my daddy said. And yeah, P1 and P2 in the last race, I think it's the best what can happen for this weekend.
The Hahn family will have a big celebration tonight. I think you will go home tomorrow, I have a feeling.
Every time we go home on Monday, but today, for sure, we have one drink more.
All right, so you go celebrate. Podium was waiting for you guys, and maybe I get a quick word with Norbert as well. Let's see how he's feeling after such a strong race. You said you want to fight, and this was more than fighting.
Yeah, it was a big fight. Well, it was hard. I think it's a little bit harder than what should have been, especially, you know, Antonio. Would expect a little bit more than this from somebody who's racing for like 30-something years, because he's like, you know, forcing me off the circuit, you know, wherever he can, you know, while, you know, people standing here, you know, showing the, you know, the signs and everything, and Antonio is forcing me to the wall where people are standing, you know, so he did some dangerous things that I think shouldn't be allowed. But, you know, okay, I try to do the best I can. I had from one of these contacts, I had a puncture on the rear outside, so that slowed me down, you know, a bit. But, you know, still happy to go to the podium like this, because it's good points. And yeah, you know, good race. Yeah, a little bit tougher.
You can be proud, and still the podium is waiting for you. And I know we will see you back in first place so much more often. It's been a wild race, I can tell you. I know everyone has been jumping up and down. So here's some highlights for you to repeat and re-see everything.
I don't know where to start with that one, to be honest. First off, apologies for the language from Jochen Hahn, but you can forgive him. What a moment. What a brilliant final race of the weekend. And boy, emotions of all kinds in that one. That was certainly the last day of school. Like I said, there was a great and very interesting start, actually. John Newell didn't get away very well at all. Andrei Kurzim took advantage of that. Steffi Halm tried to do so as well. And so many drivers got shuffled around in the early stages. We didn't really know where to look. There were so many of them coming through from further down the order. Some of them really dropped back from the front. It was a big old mix. This one of the key moments of the race, though. Andrei Kurzim and Norbert Kish making contact. Antonio Albacete trying to come through the middle as well and try and make up ground there. And then a great battle ensued between the two teammates. As Norby said, maybe a bit harder and a bit more tougher fought than he would have expected, but still a great battle all the same. A three-way incident between Louis Requenco, Steffi Halm and John Newell caused yellow flags in the middle sector and for Louis Requenco to retire. And then Lucas Hahn had to try and defend his position as best he could, while Jochen Hahn broke free at the front of the pack and created history in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship with a father-son 1-2 finishing order, something we have never ever seen before. A lump in the throat of those that are fans of Jochen and Lucas, I'm sure. And I'm sure you're also all with me in the way that when Jochen teared up for a moment there was even a lump in my throat, bless him. The always ever inflappable Jochen Hahn. Certainly proud of his son in that moment. Brilliant stuff. Great way to end the weekend, though, race-wise. Really exciting. And we now have our podium presentation for the overall positions. Norbert Kish, the first time this season he's not been on the top step, but as he said, it's still good points, and he's happy to continue that 100% podium record. Lucas Hahn, his second overall podium of the weekend as well. He finished third in race 2, and then second in race 4. Now let's listen to the cheer as Jochen Hahn makes his way up to the top step of the podium. A great drive by Jochen. Showed his experience and his composure. And there's many a fan of the Hahn racing team. Look at him, bless him. He's unsure what to do now up there. But this is what I mean. This is the fun atmosphere of it. You know, the drivers all get on really well. At the end of the day, it's still sport. It's still competition. There may be disagreements between drivers. There may be hard-fought emotions. At the same time, though, everybody gets on so well when all the dust settles. It's just great. Great to be a part of it. Lucas Hahn, second place for him. Huge smile on his face. What a great first weekend back in the championship for him. And then his father, Jochen, takes his first overall win of the championship this year. And now we will have the German national anthem.
The national anthem of Germany.
And there we go. Champagne will go flying in just a moment. They will have their pictures taken, change the hats, and then they will, of course, drench one another.
Please change your caps.
But as Jochen said, maybe just one drink more tonight to celebrate the 1-2 from the team. As the hats go flying. Like I said earlier, those Goodyear hats are like gold dust. And now it's time for the champagne. I imagine Norby's going to absolutely drench Jochen. No, they're going to get Lucas, or each other. Brilliant stuff. In the ears and everything. That's part of the fun. That is absolutely awesome to see. But again, this is what I mean. You know, these two, between them, Jochen and Norby have 11 championship titles. They are two of the most competitive truck racing drivers you will ever see in your life. But give them a few moments up on the podium, they'll have a good laugh with it and they'll still get along. Norbert Kish continues to lead the championship, 178 points going his way. Jochen Hahn on 130. Antonio Albacetti in third place, just 4 points ahead of Sasha Lenz now, with Steffi Halm in fifth. Andre Kurzim now moves back ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez for 6th and 7th, with Stefan Faas, Lucas Hahn and John Newell completing the top 10. Behind them we have Mark Taylor on 20 points, Heinrich Clemens-Hecker next up, Louis Requenco 13th, and Luke Garrett gets his second point of the season in that fourth and final race. Any moment now we should be moving on to the Chrome category podium. There's the legend that is Alan Taylor on the left-hand side. And Jochen now tries to clear the champagne out of his ear that was pressure washed in there by Norbert Kish. At the end of the day, you don't want to keep champagne all over you because it stinks and it goes sticky and horrible after a while. But even Clemens Hecker getting a little bit drenched there. Mark Taylor makes his way up to the podium. Third place in the Chrome class for him. That's Mark's second podium of the weekend. And Heinrich Clemens-Hecker completes his weekend with a podium as well. Really well deserved that. He and the team put in a massive amount of effort after having technical issues at the start of the weekend and then problems later on, issues during the races, and then he comes through to take second place. And the class win, once again going to Lucas Hahn. 3 class wins out of 4 for him this weekend. And yet again, more hard work from the Hahn Racing team. And Lucas shows his pedigree as a truck racing driver. Now the trophy's given out one at a time. Mark Taylor for third place, more silverware for he and the team. Second place to Heinrich Clemens-Hecker for Hecker Racing. They've earned that one. And Lucas Hahn, another trophy for the warehouse that they must have. And now we'll get the national anthem of Germany for our winning driver in the Chrome class. And there you go, the German national anthem for Lucas Hahn, who takes the class victory. Now you can see the real height of Heinrich Clemens-Hecker as well. He's one of the tallest racing drivers I've ever seen. As they now have champagne. Are they going to soak each other? It's usually a bit more of a tame affair in the Chrome class. Never mind. Lucas almost having to defend himself. Great scenes. Clemens Hecker, a good friend of the Hahns as well. It's just great, isn't it? It's one of the funniest things is the champagne spraying in motorsport, because it's all so serious and so feisty when they're on the circuit, but it's just playful and good fun when they're on the podium. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez holds on to his championship lead in the Chrome class. He'll be happy to see that heading to the Nürburgring, I can tell you that. He has Stefan Faas behind him. Mark Taylor moves up closer, though, in third position, with fourth place still held on to by John Newell. Then we have Louis Requenco in fifth place, 20 points clear of Lucas Hahn after a great weekend. Heinrich Clemens-Hecker moves a little bit further ahead of Luke Garrett, with Bradley Smith scoring his 16 points back at Misano at the start of the season. And we're told as well, as a good sport, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is still there at the circuit, and it's a good thing too, as he is going to return to the podium in just a moment's time, as we have a third and final special podium to give out some trophies for. Because here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, we like to promote the young drivers and the fresh new faces that come through into the world of truck racing. And they will promote Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Lucas Hahn. or at least I believe so anyway, at some point. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will take second place in that one, with Lucas Hahn taking the victory. They may get their trophies in just a sec. Yes, there you go. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez heads up. It's a great incentive for the young drivers to make their way through to the European Series. And Lucas on his third podium of the day. Those overalls are going to need washing twice after this weekend. They're going to stink of champagne. But a good sport, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. A tough day for him after having the engine failure during qualifying. He wasn't able to take part in either race today, but he and the team have stuck around. They've tried to do what they can to prepare the truck for the Nürburgring in 3 weeks' time. It's good of him and the team to still stick around. Hats off to them. Not the result he would have wanted with his Sunday, but he still holds the championship lead, while Lucas Hahn gets another trophy to add to the collection. And he's even bigging up the crowd and everything.
So, side by side, of course.
And they get their pictures taken. Big smiles all round still. Again, it's great for them to get the appreciation. Hats off to our young drivers, Lucas Hahn and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Not sure that Jose Eduardo will want to get drenched with champagne after barely using the overalls today. Lucas decides to soak the fans to the right-hand side. It's a quick spray of the champagne for Jose Eduardo. Probably needs that after today. And we'll want to take that back to the team for actual drinking. Still, great stuff. So, the next event, everybody, will be the main event of the season, if you could argue that. The Nürburgring, the International Truck Grand Prix on the 13th and 14th of July. It's going to be one hell of a weekend, and we hope you will join us, whether you're there with us or whether you're there watching the broadcasts, because it is going to be an absolutely glamorous and beautiful weekend at the fantastic circuit. Then we head to Most later on in August, and then to the Le Mans Bugatti circuit to the end of September. Trophies all round for Lucas Hahn, but that's all from me here this weekend at Zolder. I've been Chaz Draycott for the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Thanks once again for joining us. I'm going to hand back down to my wonderful colleague, Lena van der Mars. I'll get your name right, love, sorry.
Right, and Mark Taylor's in the house as well, and this has been quite a roller coaster weekend for you, hasn't it? Luckily ending on top and not down there.
Yeah, today has definitely been a roller coaster. As you've seen, we had a good qualifying, got it to P8, and all the team was happy. Went out on race one, and we had trouble with the brakes on the truck. So more the race went on, the hotter the brakes went, and at one point they went up to 800 degrees. So I started struggling to slow down, and that caused me to hit penalty markers. But the second race, perfect. So everything come back to us.
So it's like a yin and yang sometimes. When I see you drive down here with the 5-second penalty, I was like, oh no. It must be a weird feeling if you have to like pass by in the pit lane.
It was a bad feeling. It's a bad feeling for everybody. You even feel bad for the team, for all the work. Everyone's got the eyes. We only had 3 laps to go, but unfortunately I got the penalty. I had to do the drive-through.
And it turned out well, and he's taking the sunshine home. His family's with him, his team is with him here. Now you will be on television as well. There you go. Cheering for Mark all the time, which is really lovely. So you go fill that one up and have a drink with your teams. Thank you so much.
I think that definitely sounds like a plan.
All right. So thank you to everyone who has been watching all weekend long, all qualifiers, all races. And I see you at Nürburgring. I can't wait. Have a very lovely evening.